talking truth, no script, no fear. Pulse is high, the vibe is clear.
Just pure talk, feel the spark. On the mic, we light the dark. With friends on air, we break the mark. Tune in now, ignite that up. Just pure talk, feel the spark. On the mic, we light the dark. With friends on air, we break the mark. Tune in now, ignite that up. Just pure talk.
Feel the spark on the mic, we light the dark.
Just pure talk.
We break the mark. Tune in now, ignite that up.
Just pure talk.
Feel the spark on the mic, we light the dark. With friends on air, we break the mark.
Come join the fun.
Come join the fun. How you doing, everybody? DJ Verm here live. Yes, we are live. We did 15 minutes earlier.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. How you
It's
doing,
not
everybody?
even Christmas.
So how you doing, everybody? Yes,
We're
we are
early.
here tonight to talk. Interesting. One thing before we kick off, okay, I'm, you know, and we didn't have a chance to talk about it because we were talking the back end. A lot of people are coming to see us, and it's great to see that we're growing in popularity, I should say. And thank you very much for the people that are listening to us on also
English
on
is not his
Spotify
first language, so give him a break.
and Apple Podcasts. And I don't know why my wife is coming in the studio, but yeah, there she goes.
Hi, wife.
Hi, how are you? We are live.
Hi. You're on the air. Gotcha.
God. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's getting too used to the cameras. Yeah.
Yeah, the fame doesn't bother her anymore.
So there we go. So yeah, like I was saying, yeah, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, and all the other audio platforms. And we do stream our video on Spotify. And Akai, letting you know that Apple is supposedly going to do exactly the same thing. So we're going to
Yeah.
also have our face on Apple.
We're going to be on Apple.
Yeah, we're going to be on Apple. Ain't
Where
that,
they
ain't
will
that an
all-
exciting news?
Hate me.
Yeah. So a lot of things have been going on lately.
I'm good.
And
I'm good with that.
one thing I think we should kick off, because I know you have a couple of stories. So one thing that we should kick off is the launch. The launch of today.
The Artemis launch, which, you know what? Totally blindsided. Didn't even know it was happening. But
Seriously?
seriously, did not know it was happening. I get in this mode where I go up in the mountains and
Okay.
I shut off everything.
Okay.
Like I have a phone and a satellite system, so if it's an emergency, my wife can get a hold of me, and family can get a hold of me. But when I go up there, I have no idea what's happening in the world. And
Okay.
so when I come home, I got to plug in on the way back down. I got the AM talk radio going, and I'm trying to get up to date on news stories, and my phone, when it first gets that first bit of signal, all I hear is beep 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 beep, because everybody's texting me about everything that's been going on in the world, and I'm like, wow, okay, I sure missed a lot, but you know what? I don't know, man.
Okay.
I think we're just so bombarded with information all day long.
Okay.
I really do. I think it's good for us to shut it off and disappear for a few days. Go camping, go spend it out in nature, go watch the birds. I literally watched a squirrel in a tree for an hour today.
A new passion. Well, you know what? It's good. It's good.
It
for
makes
the
me
morale.
feel good.
Yeah, it's good for the morale, man.
Yeah, it's good for the brain. But that's what I've been working on. So I've been working on my cabin. I put gutters in, got a rain system going to a storage container. I got a new shed in. I got to put shelves in so I can get all that up and done, and very exciting things. And now I got to build some. I'm going to do some timber framing type stuff where I'm using logs instead of like dimensional lumber. And I got to make some stairs and a deck to go up to my wood yard.
Yeah.
If you all have ever spent any time in the woods, there's always a wood yard near a cabin because That's where all the dead trees end up that fall down during the year. So, got to start that, and I got to start collecting logs for my sauna.
Oh, we're going for the sauna.
We're going for the sauna, buddy. It may take a year or two, but we're going for it.
So, okay, sauna.
You gotta have a
it is.
sauna.
So how are you going to bring the sauna up there?
I'm gonna build it out of logs and put a wood stove surrounded with rocks up there, and
Okay, so you're going to really make it with logs, and you're going to
yeah, I'm gonna do it
get
like
out.
the Finnish way. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna
Right.
build like a standard like an Americanized sauna or a modern sauna. I'm gonna go back to those because a lot of times, like when we were out camping, we didn't have showers or anything like that, but we had saunas,
Okay.
up north, and
Yeah.
and so that's how we bathed.
Okay.
And I quite frankly miss it. I miss doing a sauna in the morning or doing a sauna at night after I've been cutting wood all day.
Okay.
You get that sweat on, get
Yeah.
all that crap pushed out, wash off with some nice water and some soap, and go to bed squeaky clean and some sheets. Oh, babe. That's money.
Yeah.
The simple things in life.
So you're really getting to your campsite. I call it the campsite, but it should be what? Is it more of a cabin site, or how do you?
Yeah, it's 11 plus acres of paradise for me. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you bought yourself a land, and now you're building it, and you're making it go well for you. Yeah, well, for you and your family, because I know it's for you, but it's for your family.
my wife has no desire to go.
Are you
Done
serious?
whatsoever.
No.
Oh, if it's not the Ritz, we're not going. I'm telling you what, her idea is roughing it is room service.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't blame her. That's what she likes.
Yeah. Well, she does. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, she's allowed.
You know?
She's allowed to like it. Yeah, I'm trying to
Well,
get
I'm
my
messing with our cameras,
We
getting it
can be
upside down.
equal.
It's looking at my belly button, and but
There we
you
go.
know,
Now we're equal.
for some people, the idea of going to a hotel without room service is roughing it, and for me, my idea of roughing it is, I forgot my blanket.
Okay.
I will make a pile of pine needles and crawl inside of it and just be happy. But
Well, you were used to the wilderness. I mean, with your military experience, I mean,
I
you
think it's
must have
just
slept in places that
my civilian experience as
also
a kid.
okay.
Yeah, because my dad was a big outdoorsman, and so we used to do a lot of like canoe and foot trips.
Yeah.
A lot of portages and camping out in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, so I did a lot of that as a kid, and so when I went in the Army, shaving with cold water was no big deal for me because I'd been doing it most of my life. So
No, but I know because I mean, I know that with experience, usually when you go on different missions or stuff like that, sometimes you're obviously not sleeping at the Hilton.
no, but I would say that my camping and Boy Scout experience
Yeah.
helped me handle a lot of that stuff in the military. It gave me an edge.
Have you went to the Boy Scouts?
Yeah, I was a Boy Scout.
Okay, so I was a Boy Scout too. Yeah.
Yep.
I even started a little bit more younger in Wolfpack.
Yep. I did Weeblos.
Yeah. So you always start and then you go up and then you go to Scouts.
Yep.
Then you
did
change
Scouts.
from this to what's
My
the scout?
my biggest regret
one
is
again?
never going Eagle.
No, that's Vulcan. No, what's the Scout one again? Is it Three Fingers?
3 fingers. Yeah.
Yeah, Three Fingers. Ain't this way?
Yeah.
Okay. Scouts honor.
Yeah, with your pinky and your thumb
Yeah,
touching.
I have problem with this finger. So
Yeah. But I was a Baden Powell Scout.
okay.
So I was actually a Boy Scout in England.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I came to the States and became a Boy Scout here in the United
Oh.
States.
Tell me, what's the difference between the Boy Scouts of England and the Boy Scouts of the United States?
Uniforms are a huge difference. The their Boy Scouts in England, you have to read the Jungle Book in order to join.
Okay. Okay.
That's part of the membership requirement is that you got to read and pass all the things on the Jungle Book.
Okay.
And then, where in the States you just join and you go to some meetings and you start doing merit badges and your troop's going to go camping or whatever. And in England, we went to a couple big camps, but they were more like going to like a KOA in the States. You know, there was a shower facility and then there was a dining facility. And then, you know, it wasn't like we were out in the woods roughing it in England.
Okay.
But a lot of that is not available. There's not a lot of public land to go do that on over there. For
Okay.
Boy Scout troops. So
No.
here in the States, they're kind of blessed. They can just public land their butt off over here.
So, did the Boy Scouts, because that's something for me, did the Boy Scouts give you some experience to maybe say, I'm going to go into the military?
The Boy
Did
Scouts
that tell you when you were young?
nothing,
'Cause
nothing
it's
to do with me
the
joining the
same.
military.
It's not the same. But it's,
Some people will say it's like, some people will say the Boy Scouts is a paramilitary organization and blah, blah, blah. It is not.
no, it's not.
It's a bunch of
teaching
kids
children
out
something
camping,
else,
learning
like
how to
video
do,
gaming. Yeah.
you know, learning how to use a knife so they don't cut their fingers off and learning how to camp on a camp,
Yeah.
you know, cook on a campfire.
The knots, doing, something, doing sheds, like, you know, when at work, and I want to explain this to you. At work, we have this, we always have these tests. And it's one, maybe you've done it also. It's a situation test. It's a wilderness situation test. I don't know if you know where I'm going.
Oh, okay.
So there was me and we were the whole team that was in a meeting and we were doing that. And they gave me the situation where the plane drops and we hit the jungle, you know, and stuff like that. And it was going on, it gives you the situation. Then you got a knife and you got matches and you got this. And how do you survive?
How'd you get a knife on the airplane?
Like that, like scouts.
That's what I want to know. I want to know how you got the knife on the airplane. That's my question.
Well, it was.
And how you got the matches on the airplane.
Good question.
Because
No,
right now
no.
I can't get an empty lighter on an airplane.
No,
How
you're
the hell
right.
you got matches on an airplane?
Well,
You
you're
the
right.
man.
Because the matches on a plane could be in the suitcase. No, because you're allowed to put it in the suitcase at the bottom, not the one that you hold in the plane.
I don't think you're allowed to take matches at all.
No, I don't know. I forgot. I don't usually take matches to go on vacation. So, are we allowed? People that are listening to us, type in the comments. Are we allowed to have matches in a plane? I mean, in the luggage, suit luggage. Okay. But I mean,
Carry one book or pack of safety non-strike anywhere matches in your.
are we allowed or not?
Matches are strictly prohibited in checked luggage. Strike
checked-
anywhere matches are forbidden
In all luggage?
to carry in both carry-on or checked.
Okay. So
But
then,
you can carry one book, one book or packet of safety non-strike anywhere matches in your carry-on bag or on your person.
so I maybe forgot which plane it was. Is it a private plane? Is it a?
Doesn't matter.
No, I mean if you're,
You're
going
still
on a
going.
pri-
You're still going through a TSA check.
Are you?
Yeah, if you're going to an FBO. Well, maybe you don't. I don't know. I've never really. I don't think I've ever flown. I've never
If you
flown
go
private.
flying, you know the plane there, the smaller planes. Not
Yeah,
a private
I've never
jet.
flown private, like a private jet or. I would
But
think
anyway.
there'd be some kind of check. Well, maybe if you're putting your stuff. Who knows? Maybe you're on a jungle expedition.
Well, that
And you got that
that's
crap
what I was
with you.
saying. I know. In the story, it was that. So for sure, like you're right. Now, if we re-question everything that we're doing, going through customs and stuff like that, you're not allowed to have a knife. You're not allowed. Hey, I went through customs to go to Toronto, and I had my work coat on, and I totally forgot that I had a cutter in my coat. So I had my
So did you throw it in the planter out before you went through the line?
no. Well, when I went through, my luggage went poof into the security part because I didn't know. I forgot it was in my coat. So it went poof. I go, what the hell did they find in my luggage? It's only my clothes to, for a couple of days going to Toronto. So when he right away, he went to my coat and he pulled it out and he said, "Sir, you're not allowed to have this." I go, "Oh man, it's my work coat." So I usually have a cutter when I go work, because I cut some cases or whatever. So then I tell the guy, goes, "Well, I could take out the blade and you're allowed to keep the plastic part." I go, "Oh, throw it in the garbage. I'll buy another one. Throw it in the front, throw it in the garbage." So he threw it in the garbage. "You sure?" I go, "Yeah, I'll throw it in the garbage. I'll get another one." It's
They probably,
I mean,
you know what? They probably have a special trash can back there for all those lighters and knives
Water
and all that stuff,
bottles
and
or whatever.
they just take them home at the end of the day and sell them on eBay.
maybe. Coming from DJ Verb. DJ Verb, he's a popular DJ. He had a cutter in his pocket. Whatever.
Yep.
So, going back to my expedition. So, the plane goes down. So, we survive. One hurt, but we survive and stuff like that. So, we're in the jungle. Okay. You're right, maybe for the matches. But it was just like a story for the test. So, the only two people that survived in the whole meeting, because everybody was going wicked all over and didn't they got bit by a snake, whatever, and stuff like that. It was me and my VP. Both of us survived. Knew how to build a shed, like a shed because it was raining. So you
get
don't
some
want to
shelters.
be
That way you don't
outside.
freeze to death. Get
Yeah, and you want
hypothermia.
to try to build a fire under your shed for the reason that
Keep the bugs out.
it's always raining. You got to keep yourself warm. So I won. I was happy to win, and everybody else died, but I won. So
And then you got to get water, and then you got to secure food.
yeah, exactly. It was all that, and and then with the knife and with the matches, and then you figure out how to light a fire with with two rocks, and with all that stuff like that. Well, not maybe two
Does
rocks.
not
You
work
find
that
something
good in the
to
jungle. Just
Hey?
say, it does not work that well in the jungle.
Say it again.
It does
No.
not work that well to try to light stuff in the jungle with rocks.
No, I know because
putting that
it's
out
not
there,
good
'cause-
rocks.
Because everything's fudging wet.
Well, at least I survived, so I'm happy.
Some resins are flammable though on trees.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You must know. I don't know.
Yep, I do know.
Yeah, I didn't go in the jungle.
They'll also give you blisters and eat your skin off too. But I mean, they do really well at starting a fire.
Serious?
Yeah, some
So
of the
what-
some of the
so
some
what-
of the resins that come off the trees is caustic to human skin.
Oh God. Okay. Okay. So you try not to touch too much of the trees. Okay. So
We used to have a saying: "Don't fuck with Jake, and Jake won't fuck with you." and for all those who don't know who Jake is, that's Jake the Snake.
Okay. Yeah. Teach me. So I wanted to say that because that was stuff that I learned to go back of saying today, but that was stuff that I learned in the Scouts. Mm-hmm. So how to make a shed, how to make, use the leaves.
There's
that.
little things that I still to this day I'll find myself falling back into because I did it when I was a kid.
Okay.
And then people are like, "Where'd you learn that?" And I have to really sit down and think about it. I go, I don't know. I've been doing it my whole life.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
one of the best books you can ever get on survival is the Boy Scout Field Book.
Okay.
Because literally it tells you everything. It just lays it out like for an 8-year-old. So if you can't understand that, then
No, you're right. Totally.
no. But so these guys, we're gonna deflect again and go back to Artemis. So I guess there's a Canadian guy on this flight.
Yeah.
And so I found that to be, I was like, okay, so the Canadian Space Agency's up there. Awesome. And then we got 3 other astronauts, and they're going to go shoot themselves towards the moon. And I guess it's kind of like an Apollo thing they're going to do. There's going to be 4 flights total, I guess.
Yeah, they're saying that it would be what's the name again? The ship now? It's
Well, it's Artemis 2, isn't it?
Artemis. Artemis 2. They said Artemis 4. They should go on the moon.
They should go on the moon on Artemis
Yeah,
4.
they should be. It's like they're going to take 2 years now and the next one to analyze whatever. I
That's a
don't know.
pretty tight schedule.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I always say analyze. I don't know what they have to analyze when they're supposed to be they already have gone to the moon. But
But you
technology
know what was
is-
crazy about that, a lot of that stuff?
What?
Is a lot of that stuff got thrown out.
Are you serious?
Serious.
Okay.
That's why it ended up in all these museums around the world. You know,
Oh,
plans and people's, memoirs and data. It's not like it was,
That's why it ended up in all these museums.
sorry, man. Siri just went on.
yeah. And, that's why it ended up in all these weird museums. Like people had all this stuff that they were allowed to leave with.
Okay.
And when they were talking about going back to the moon, they're like, oh crap, we don't even have plans for some of this stuff.
No. No.
So they were going out to these museums and going, you have the only surviving one. We need to take it apart and put it back together again. We need to see how they did it.
Okay. But I overheard that it's totally now back to NASA, all this. There's no more SpaceX in this expedition. Is that true?
I would only expect NASA to be on this one.
No.
I'm sure SpaceX is in it somehow, because in order to work for NASA, you have to have flown with NASA.
Okay.
So all those original big aerospace companies that were doing all that stuff back in the 60s and 70s with the, going to the moon and all that stuff,
Yeah.
they pretty much got them. I don't know how they figured out this thing with NASA to where if you haven't flown with NASA, you can't do anything with NASA type thing.
Okay.
And so it locked a lot of these smaller companies out of the field of play, and it just left the big boys in there. So SpaceX actually doing a couple things for NASA gets them on the field to where they can play now.
Okay.
Because it used to be just like the big 4 aerospace companies. 4 or 5 aerospace companies
Yeah, but that's
were
what
the
I
only
thought.
ones that could fly with NASA.
Yeah, that's what I
They
thought.
could build stuff for NASA.
Yeah. But that's why I'm finding it weird in a sense,
I think it'll be cool to see where it goes. Like, are they going to put a base up there? Because I can't find any information. Like, what's the goal? Is it just because the president said let's do this, or is there an actual goal to like put a base up there?
Well, look, I'll say it like, because we always keep saying I'm Canadian, you're American. I'll say it on the Canadian side. What we got on the news was that they're considering to build a base.
Oh, okay,
And they want to do it before China.
makes sense.
What President Trump.
Well, if you don't put your foot stamp on it, they can come
Yeah.
up there and claim it. Even though we have that World Space Treaty crap, I don't think China ever signed it. So
But that's what they were saying. They want to be the first to be able to start. If they started, then they're the ones controlling, and then they could bring all the other nations in. A little bit like the space station, no? Because who does it belong to? The space station?
the space
Ain't it
station,
international?
it's U.S.
It's international, eh?
It's the International Space Station, but it's U.S. property, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's a NASA,
I'm
NASA
asking
vehicle.
you. I haven't really gone into the techniques of that. What do you guys think? Is it international or is it a United States owned space station? So forever, the people that know, please put in the comments. And we read everything, so.
So the ISS is a joint project owned by 5 participating agencies. It's NASA, which is the U.S., Roscom, which is Russia, ESA, which is Europe, JAXA, which is Japan, and CSA, which is Canada.
Okay. Hey, Ragnar.
So,
Oh, there we go. He just wrote it in. So CSA is Canada. Okay.
yeah.
So that means Russia, Europe, Japan, Canada. But you said USA. Where's USA?
NASA.
Okay.
It's the U.S. It's U.S., which is NASA. Roscosmos, which is Russia. ESA, which is European Space Agency. JAXA, which is Japan, and CSA Canada.
Okay. And that's the people usually you see always up there or getting launched. Because, yeah.
Yeah, so this is
same
not
with
owned by
ownership.
one single entity, but it's partner countries that build and continue to maintain it.
So
Which I'm kind of shocked that Russia's up there on the International Space Station.
why wasn't it a debate in the past? Wasn't it something that again, like we're doing now with the moon? It's something like
Maybe it was a good faith thing. Like, hey, we're gonna go to space. We want you to help out. But I know we used a lot of Russian rockets to get stuff there.
Yeah, but there's the other thing, Kai, it costs a lot. That space station costs a lot. So why
ton
would
of
they
money.
want to split with everybody? Once it's done, who's the first to do it? And then, we won the race. Let's all work together. No?
I'm just curious. I want to see what the cost.
Okay.
The ISS, the Human Boot Structure, that's total development and assembly costs exceeds $150 billion over 30 years.
Okay.
Okay? It roughly costs 3 to 4 billion. Primarily funded by the US, Russia, Japan, Canada, and Europe.
Okay.
NASA covers 3.1 billion
3.1 billion?
of the ISS station costs a year.
Okay.
That leaves the other
So who
900
gives the
billion
most money? Who gives the most
US,
money? Okay, US. Okay.
3.1 billion annually.
But again, we all, we all know that the United States has a lot more population.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So money is more easier to get. I'm just saying. Like Canada's about 40 million. I mean, it's not the same budget. You can't ask the same budget. That's what I mean. It's all in percentage, eh? Like
I
everything.
think it's a percentage. I think it. It's. However they worked it out, they got it worked out.
Yeah.
Maybe Canada's in charge of pizza. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little bit like what was it? What were they saying? They
Yeah.
were talking about the military cost, Canadian wise versus with the U.S. So technically, and that's why sometimes when I listen to what they're saying on the news and saying that, Canada was giving 75 cents on the dollar for the defense part for the United States, to the United States, I should say. Sorry. So
For what?
military.
In what context?
Military protection, if something like that. That's what they were saying.
I have no idea.
No, that's what they were saying. I have to get more proof, but that's what they were saying.
You'll have to get some a
'Cause
better
that's-
explanation
and-
of what we're talking about here, because
and
I'm
Cart-
kind of lost.
No, it's because what I'm trying to say is, there's the part of the space station. There's a part, because it's all about, everything is like military in a sense, So the space station and Canada can't start giving if they give. I'm talking about before all this is going on, but if they give a certain amount of money on the dollar for, I'll say protection. I'm not saying it's protection because I'm not saying it will, but for the defense part. Well, they can't invest here and they can't invest there because then how is the damn country going to survive?
Are we talking about the NATO thing,
Yeah, well, not the NATO thing.
where
I'm
they're
talking-
supposed to spend 5% of their GDP on?
No,
equipment and military.
well, yeah, I did. I think I did mix up a little bit in things. Yeah, okay, I'm understanding now why you're a big. I can see in your face a big question mark.
Yeah,
Vern, where are you going?
because I know everybody that's in NATO, and we can divulge into one of these stories here that I have.
I'll go.
So everybody that's a member of NATO has to, or is supposed to, spend 5% of their GDP on military.
Yeah.
Very few people do it in NATO. And over the last couple of years, people have said, hey, if you don't put in your fair share, if you're not putting your fair share towards expenditures in your country, if something happens, I'm not coming to save you.
So,
Which to me is fair.
yeah,
Because-
you're totally right.
Because the deal was made that we'll have this unilateral. It would be like if we had 10 friends, right?
Yeah.
And we were going in on a trip. And we said, save 5% of your income, and you put that in the kitty, and that covers your trip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay? Some will
Yeah.
put more in, some will put less in because we have different income values.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy only put in 2%. Should he go on the trip?
Well, you're going to go halfway.
Yeah. So you're going to go halfway.
We're gonna drop you off at the halfway
If we
point.
put it, if we put it in terms like that people will understand. Like, hey, you only did 2.5%, so you either can't come along for the ride, or somebody else is going to have to pony up to cover your 2.5%.
Well, for sure, because I mean, if it costs 5% and you only have 2.5, you're missing 50%
Yeah, and so that's why
of the budget.
of the budget for
Yeah.
your country, out of the GDP of your country, not the you have to match the GDP of the U.S. or the U.K. or
Yeah.
it's GDP of your country.
So I for the Canadian part, there was a military. They were doing the news was doing an interview with the commander, not the commander in chief. Oh man, one of the big honkos of the Canadian Army. The general. Sorry, I was thinking general. It's a woman general. And they were asking about the budget, because we went up. Now we gave officially the 2%, and then 30 from here to 2035, they're giving that 5%. So they're going up to the 5%. So the journalist was asking, are we getting the funds, or what are you going to be doing with it? No, because this is all like brand new for the Canadian Army to rebuild the military. It's like, and they're
Yeah.
all happy because even it's getting
They
popular.
and I saw it when I was in,
Yeah.
when I worked with the Canadians,
Yeah.
that their equipment's old
Yeah.
and they don't always get,
So I know they're getting something.
I've
out of
always
it.
been more supportive to give new equipment to police and fire and military and agencies like that, fire and rescue, and we need to keep these guys in the best gear possible so that they can save lives and do what they need to do and defend our country.
Yeah.
And I'm understanding that we got to put into the kitty to support that.
Okay. Yeah.
But now there's talk, and I got it here. I found an article because it kind of shocked me. Is now there's a consideration on the table that the United States may pull out of NATO.
Yeah, but yeah, they did say that.
There is. U.S. is a member. I guess there's some conflict with the whole Iran thing.
It's
And-
what?
Well, that's part of it. Is
Yeah,
the lack
big
of support
part of
from
it is
NATO,
that.
from Iran, or whatever is being said about it. I like I said, I've been out in the woods. I don't know.
But the
and,
thing that I would tell you
But
my
we
vision-
can't pull out
No, the thing
Of
that I would tell you,
NATO?
my vision, it would be a mistake to pull out.
unless we get like 2/3 of the I think it's 2/3 of the Senate or Congress. One of those guys has to agree to it, and it has to be a 2/3 vote.
Yeah.
Good luck. Can't get those guys to agree on anything.
No, but I mean, Kai, it would be a mistake. I mean, it's like, I'm sorry, but that I would say it because
I think it would go to if he did pull out of NATO, and like I said, huge if. I think it would go back to mutual things with certain countries.
yeah,
Like, okay, Canada's our neighbor. We'll have a mutual defense pact with Canada.
but
We'll have, where we've got bases around the world, we'll have mutual or blah, blah, blah with those guys.
you
Or we
know-
just may pull out and leave.
yeah, but that's what they said. Well, that's what's being said in the media. Because the United States are strong because they have bases all over the world. So they could go faster. They can bring their planes there. They could, there's a lot of things that they can do because of that. And that's what makes you guys a power nation, because you have the possibility, you're spread all over the planet. Now, tomorrow morning, if you pull out, they're going to shut down everything. They're going to tell you, well, you're not allowed in my country. And they're already starting. Look at Spain.
Hey.
Look at Spain. Spain has
And if-
already said,
and if
"You-
that's
no
the deal-
planes are coming on in our country for
And
the
if
war.
that's the deal-
For the war. We're talking
And if
about
that's the
Iran.
deal, fine. No problem.
Yeah.
I'm not going to involve your country. I'll fly around you. I got tankers. It's no big deal.
No, but there's a couple of, I think it's Spain. Is it Italy? Spain. There's like 1 or 2 or 3 Europe countries that has decided that you're not allowed to, and we're talking for the Iran war. Okay, you're not
Yeah.
allowed to bring your planes here for that reason. So they're not saying you're kicked out of the country. They're just saying that
that's fine.
we are not supporting.
And that's fine. And when an Iranian terrorist goes into one of those countries and detonates a bomb, which will happen and has happened before in the past, the United States government should not grant any aid, intelligence, or any help to that country.
But Akai, it's and I know
That's what they're doing.
No, I know. There's some parts I'm going to say maybe you're right.
I'm
But I'm
playing
gonna-
devil's advocate. This is not how
Yes,
I feel.
I know. I'm just-
playing
we're-
devil's
we're-
advocate. It's frustrating because if you go, well, I can't fly over your country, but because you
But-
don't want to get involved in the war. Fine, okay, I understand that. But if Iran ever does anything to your country, don't expect us to help you.
No, I know. But I'll give you this example. When 9/11 happened at New York, in New York, who were the first to be there to support the Americans?
No idea. I was
Canada.
good.
Like mainly all the wars, Canada
Yeah.
was always supporting the United States.
I have nothing wrong with Canada.
No. I'm just telling you, Canada.
Well,
there
except
was
for one
other
guy.
countries
I have
that
I
got
have,
mixed
I have
up in
issue
it.
with a guy in Canada. We'll get to him here in a bit.
Yeah. No, but I mean, and then a lot of the other countries held down for that they held down for Iraq.
Yeah.
For the 9/11 Iraq
And-
because
And I
they believed
understand.
in it. They believed in it,
Nobody wants to help Trump. I get it. They don't
But
like
it's
the
not just
guy.
Trump. It's
No, they don't like the guy.
no.
They got TDS. They got TDS so hard it makes their brain hurt that he's even still alive and around. And if you guys don't know what TDS is, that's Trump derangement syndrome. It's crazy. You just put a picture of that guy up or put his name on something, and people automatically hate it and think it's the worst plan ever. But then they find out that plan was originally came out by Biden or Obama, and he's just supporting the plan. And
well at the moment, Kai. I mean, he's the first to say it that there's nothing to do with Biden and nothing to do with Obama. I mean,
with the
I'm
Iran
not saying
thing,
it's not true what you're saying.
Obama should have done this. Biden should have done this. Bush should have done this.
There's a lot of things that could have been done, but like today,
How
we're
many
seeing
years?
stuff-
40 years
Yeah.
they've been terrorizing the world?
Yeah. But how many? But and and when you look at it, how much stuff that is done today by stubbornness or whatever, or bullying or whatever's happening, okay, shouldn't be done, because you should be a little bit more I don't want to say diplomatic. 'cause I know you guys
Diplomatic, not working.
what?
Obama did diplomacy. It didn't work.
Diplomacy. I was looking for the
They
word.
still made nuclear material, even though we paid them not to. Billions of dollars, which then later got turned into funding for Hamas.
But you know one thing that I'm going to tell you, and this is something that I've realized over time. I mean, over the whatever's going on lately. There's one thing that is being said, and then 2 weeks later, it's different. And that, I think that's what the people are tired of, is that it's always
Such
something.
as-
It's always lies. It's always lies. It's
Oh,
always
with what Trump
like
says?
again, like they're saying, the United States has control over Iran war. It's not true. Because he wouldn't ask help. But now people are not giving him help because he started
I
the
think
war.
the reason he asked for help was so the allies can get involved and not feel like they're not part of it.
Not what's being told. It's that he's losing control. He didn't know that it would happen that way when he hit, because he had no plan. He didn't have a plan when his chief of war doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And this is my point of view. He doesn't know.
He's well,
He's
he's
not.
not
I'm not
he's
talking
not
about
the
Trump.
one.
I'm talking about the chief
Trump
of
is not
war,
the one
whatever
with the
you call it.
plan.
They have no plan.
It's the
proven.
Department of War that has the plan, and they go, "This is our plan. Agree or
No.
disagree." And
know,
Trump
but when
goes,
you got
"Yeah,
in-
go right ahead and do that."
They thought it would look like Venezuela. Go in, boom,
No.
boom, boom, get out.
No way.
But we all knew it wouldn't happen that way because Iran's crazy. And
There's
you hit-
no
you
way
hit-
that. No.
No, but that's what.
And
he's been,
And if
that's
they
what
don't,
he's doing.
unfortunately,
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
if these countries in the Middle East don't step up, or the people that are in exile for Iran don't come back in to take over Iran, talking to the prince's son, from the Shah, who
Hell's
got,
broken loose now. You're right. Hell's broken loose.
dude, they killed like thousands of their own people
No, I know,
here recently.
and I'm not for that. Just to let you
They
know.
lowered the conscript age to 12. If you're a 12-year-old kid, you can now be conscripted into the Iranian army.
I don't know that.
No, that's came
No,
out like a week ago.
I'm
But
taking your word because I don't know. I haven't went
But-
deep.
I mean, look at all the stuff they've done to like girls trying to go to school, girls in protests. They hunted them down, beat them, killed them. I mean, this place is not. I mean, I'm sure there's beautiful places in Iran. I'm sure it's absolutely epic, and I would love to go visit. But the tyranny that exists there. The only way you're getting anything done is if you're wealthy, Iranian, and connected somewhere in politics.
Okay.
Because if you're not one of those three things, then you're screwed as an Iranian dude. And if you're an Iranian woman, you have no rights. We talk about equalness and fairness for all these people around the world, but yet when we put a foot in somebody's ass for not doing it, then the world's like, "Oh, why'd you do that?" Well, for 40 years plus, this guy's been, supporting terrorists, letting terrorists train there, letting all these people come over there, been taking money that we give them so they won't do a nuclear program, to do a nuclear program and train more terrorists to go around the world.
Yeah.
And then when some guy finally goes, "You know what, I'm sick of this shit, I'm going to put a boot in their ass." And then everybody complains that somebody put a boot in their ass. I don't get it.
No, you like I said, I'm not. I'm just saying. When I was talking, you're right. Okay. So when I was just.
But that's
trying
my
to-
view. That's how I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
from
no,
this side.
and it's okay. I mean, I could say I'm with you on this. It's the thing that I'm just trying to tell you is there's so many things being said and undone and changed and okay, this is what's happening, and then a week after, no,
Is it
something
happening
else.
or is it AI?
No, no. I mean, there's look,
Dude, I've been getting some crazy videos, and
no,
I'm like,
there is crazy
that's
videos.
AI. That's
Hey,
AI.
I could do crazy videos because I work with AI, but it's not. You'll see when it's AI. I could tell you. I've been watching now that I'm more into it.
Yeah, but the point is going to come. Well, we're not going to be able to tell.
No, but I mean, there's always a glitch when it's AI. Look,
Now.
I listen to YouTube. We're fans of YouTube. We work with YouTube.
Yeah,
So I
now
listen to
there
YouTube.
is.
And
Give me a couple more years. Give AI a couple more years, and I don't think you're going to be able to tell.
no, I know. Okay, what you're trying to tell me is that it might become. They'll do some.
It is
perfection.
already progressed from when
Progressed.
AI videos
Progressed.
were coming out. We're like, that's fake. To now we're going,
Sometimes
the hair didn't move. Okay, it's fake.
that's it. I mean, sometimes I listen to some journalists of the United States that talk, but then you finish by seeing twitching. And then you're looking, and then they're talking, and they're just repeating, and then you look at the eyes, it's always the same. So that's where I see, oh, okay,
Yeah.
it's text, and they've used an AI to project the CNN guy or girl, whatever. I'm just saying anything, but I mean, so that's why sometimes I'll doubt the video because I know now that it's more AI, and I've been watching a lot of crap with AI. I mean, even we're talking about AI now, but I mean. I've been watching some crap that a lot of Facebook has AI. There's a lot of crap going on. I don't even believe in Facebook anymore because Facebook is all crap. You're looking at it. Now
It's
the
crazy.
craziness is they put these fake things and the guy's operating the arm and he pulls it out. There's all these holes. It's like then worms come out of it. I'm going, what the heck? Where are we going with AI, with the AI, and where are we going with Facebook? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It's like you're going like this is getting out of hand. So people that believe in the Facebook media, man, sorry, I'm gonna say, and I'll be bad about it. I'll go say get a life. I don't believe in the AI of Facebook anymore because Facebook has unlocked so many things. Hey, now you can have girls that are sexy on Facebook.
Yeah.
Liberty of speech, they say.
I am a big proponent of freedom of speech. I think we should be able to discuss and talk about things freely,
Yeah.
even if it hurts your feelings.
Yeah. And you don't need to
If
bash.
somebody doesn't like, no, you can bash. That's freedom of speech. You can say what you want to say.
No, I'm trying to
As
say
long
that-
as you're not spreading hate and fear, I guess, would be my...
Yeah, okay, I know what you're saying. Okay, I know.
You know what I mean? You know, like, I'm not telling you to go out and hurt a certain group of people.
Yeah.
You know, that's a different type of speech.
Yeah.
But if I don't agree with a group of people because they do X, Y, and Z, then I should have the right to say so without getting burned at the stake.
Yeah.
Okay? But now we've become so woke. So what's the word I want? I can't think of the word I want to use. So woke on how we want to discuss, like, if you
Yep.
are the opposite of X and you say I don't like X because X is not Y, but X is, you know, defended by the group of people out there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, oh, we're not gonna like your group, period, because you believe in Y. Which is what I see happening. Some of these groups won't even come to the discussion table to talk about it. They'll be like, oh, you believe X, so therefore you're wrong and you're a racist, or you're a
Okay.
fascist, or you're a blah blah blah. And I go, you didn't get to explain my side of the story,
No.
my
exactly.
side of how I feel about this, so you can understand. Maybe you got something that you can educate me with. That you can go, hey, do you know that, if you take Y and you add a little Z, you get an X? Oh, okay. Well, I never knew that. Well, thanks for sharing that. But if you're going to constantly bash me for being a Y, why should I listen to X and Z?
Why? Why?
Why? Why?
Why?
So, I got to diverge onto this one because I found it. This is the most. What's the word I want to use here? You know how when the public says, screw you, I'm not going to do it?
Yeah.
But I never expected it to come from my brothers in the North. Everybody out there knows that I'm a huge gun fanatic. I love firearms. I think firearms are one of the greatest rights and privileges we have in this world because it gives me the right to choose, gives me the right to hunt, gives me the right to shoot for fun,
Yeah.
gives me the right to defend myself. And I grew up that way. And sorry, you're not going to get me to believe any other way. It's one of those things that, I've been going on. But I guess in Canada, their April 1st is when this law goes into effect, if I'm sure, on this one, where
Yeah,
they've
and
banned a
Canada,
bunch of
April
guns and they're
1st,
supposed to be
April
turned
Fool's
in.
Day. Yeah.
They banned a bunch of firearms, did a voluntary buyback thing, which I'm sure cost the government tons of money. 2% of the firearms owners in Canada participated in the buyback. That is
A lot of people, eh?
that is a big FU. No, really. I mean, if you go, hey, turn it in by X date, or you're going to go to jail, or you're going to be in trouble, and 2% of the firearms owners are the other 98% said, get bent. We're not doing it. This is stupid. and maybe a lot of people don't realize it, but firearm ownership in Canada is not like it is in America.
No.
Okay?
No.
You have to go take, is it a PALS class? A PALS, get your PALS card, personal something, firearms license thing. You got to put on people there that have known you for years. They got to call around and make sure you're a good guy. You got to go see a psychiatrist to make sure you're psychologically stable, and every Canadian gun owner goes through a database every day. They check for traffic violations, criminal record, psychiatric issues. They are the most vetted person in Canada.
Okay.
Because if they have a firearms card, they're going through all those databases to make sure they're not a loony nut job or a criminal every day. So if somebody's got that license, they must be kind of squared away. You would think.
Yeah. You're right.
I'm not gonna test for everybody, but
No.
so they had this turn-in thing where you can come in and turn in your guns and blah blah blah. 2% did it, which is not a lot. I wish there were some actual physical numbers. And there's no physical numbers about how many of these firearms are actually out there. And there's a lot of firearms when they started the registry back in the day, which was what, Trudeau in 2010
Yeah.
started the registry, like Canada won't come for your firearms. Well, they've been steadily coming for people's firearms ever since 2010 when they passed it. They take away more, like we're going to take away the handguns, then we're going to take away the assault style military stuff. Then we're going to ban these makes of firearms because we think they're too dangerous for the civilian population. And they constantly take and take and take. And the firearms owners are like, look, we're done. We've had enough of this. Well, now, and I hate the, I just want to, I hear this guy talking, I want to slap him in the face. It's nothing personal, I just don't like him. And it was a Gary Andiskree, big, I don't know what it is about him. He's like, they ask him a question, he's constantly dodging and evading, and basically what he said is, well, we're just going to have to send the RCMP door to door to collect those firearms.
They're going to be busy.
The RCMP does not have the staff for this.
No, they're going to be
They're
busy.
like 3,600 officers short for their mandate.
Or maybe they're going to.
And so now they want to hire a bunch of retired guys to go around. Hey, you guys want to come over with those illegal guns? You want to turn them in now? I think you're going to get shot. I mean, I really feel, me personally, if I was an RCP officer and you're like, hey, I need you to go to Joe's house and collect his guns. Fuck you. No. If Joe didn't turn him in by himself, you better wait for Joe to come get groceries. I'm not going to his house.
No.
You better pull him over on the way to work. Because I got a feeling a lot of these people have had it. Especially with everything that's going on. And it's not just in Canada, it's around the world. It's getting crazy out there. I see it in countries everywhere. Like Canada's, this state's talking about separating. This place is talking about separating. This place is talking about becoming a state of a state. Where there's a couple states in the United States that have already talked. They're in talks of splitting from their state, becoming like a north or a south of their state.
I kind of heard that maybe one or two want to even become Canadian.
That's possible.
No, because
There's that one up north. There's that one up north where the parallel line comes through, and they got to drive through the border, and they got to do that 2 times a day, and it takes hours each way. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Look, we just want to let's just become Canadian and be done with this."
Yeah, that's oh man, but that's in Vermont. That's in Vermont. Is that in New York?
No,
State?
I think it's on the other side, isn't it? Over by Washington.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that. But yeah,
I'll have to look it up, but I believe it's over by Washington.
yeah, they have that. They have that.
Well, and they
library.
just-
They have a library, and it's split in half. So the line they drew a line.
Because they closed another road.
Yeah, they drew a line, okay, because the journalists went there and they drew a
Yeah.
line in that library. So you could read your books in the United States, and you could go pick your books in Canada.
That would be a cool library to go to, because there are books that are banned in Canada that you can read in America.
So you're right. That'd be a good thing.
Because they're too woke. The book's not woke enough, so you can't read it. You can't read it in Canada. But no, there's a border road up in Canada. Where is this? Border road in Colts, Alberta. Starting in July 1st, is going to get shut. They used to go across in bicycles and go-karts and horseback.
Yeah,
And I understand why this stuff is happening.
yeah.
Why people are starting to lock it down. What I can't understand from this story is who is shutting this? Is it the Canadians shutting this, or is it the U.S. shutting this? And is this shutting down
No.
because... Is this shutting down because of the...
I kind of heard, and this is my point of view because I didn't go deep in it, but I kind of heard that. And that's what I was going to try to tell you. It's like, the border, we have just like that cement thing that's separating us, and now they've put chains, and the border patrollers are more closer to the Canadian border to watch the crossings, and they've been even the
There's
is it the store?
places... There are
Or just
places along
the library had to change their door because Canadians would go through the border because there's no border. Go
Yeah.
go on the other side, go through the American door to go into the library. But now the states don't want them to cross anymore. So they have to create a door just right beside the borderline. Like they have a door for the Canadians to go in. But inside you're allowed to cross the line. Inside you're allowed to cross the line, but not outside.
So ridiculous.
No, I know. It is. It's ridiculous. So
I wish that when they would do these articles, they'd be like, they would go, the reason this, because I know a reason why a lot of stuff on the border is getting tight right now is because funding for ICE and Homeland Security is up for, and they don't know where it's coming from, and they're trying to get Congress and the Senate to agree on funding for all these people.
Yeah.
So I know that's part of the problem. But I know
Yeah.
part of the problem too is Trump said, I'm going to secure the borders when he got elected. And he's been doing a real good job of doing that. And it has hurt some people.
But he also
it
lied
has
on the
damaged
fentanyl.
some relations.
He also lied on the fentanyl for Canada because he wanted to bully Canada to become the 51st state. And he kind of lied. And there's not even, I don't know, there's not even how. The other day, the Canadian custom was able to bust something, and it's not even like 40 kilos, not even 40 kilos or something like that.
40
It's like-
kilos of fentanyl is huge, dude.
Yeah, but no, it's like a bag. It's huge
That's-
for you guys.
No, 40 kilos of fentanyl that could kill a lot of
I
people.
say 40 grams. It's not 40 grams. I know.
You said 40
But-
kilos? Let's say 40 kilos.
a kilo. Not that big.
No, a kilo is 2.2 pounds.
That's what I'm telling you. It's not that big. It's about 80 pounds. Say 90 pounds. Out of the southern border, there's a lot more that was crossing. But they intercept it because we work in collaboration with you guys.
Okay, so here's a bust from 2018. Right? 120 pounds, which is 54 kilos.
Yeah.
Okay? Is enough fentanyl to kill 26 million people.
Okay.
So 40 pounds of fentanyl in Canada could kill half your population.
Maybe. I'm not saying no.
No, it could.
No, I know. I'm not saying no.
And so that's huge.
But
That's a lot of drugs.
But compared to the southern border, but they've stopped it. They stopped.
They
it.
did stop it, and wonderful. And I praise Canadian
I'm telling you,
Customs
they
for doing their
stopped
job,
it.
which
There's
is awesome.
nothing. There's nothing real. Well, nothing that is in control. Nothing that is in control that is crossing the border anymore. Nothing that is in control. I mean, unless they freaking dig a hole,
Which they're doing.
they've done in Mexico. They dig holes, and they go through the dam to the gate. They go under the gate. But there's a lot more stuff going through Mexico to the States, Colombia to the States, than there is Canada to the States.
Well, and
they
which
said
is
that there's a lot
which is one of the reasons they went after
Yeah.
Venezuela. It's because a lot of drugs were coming through the Venezuelan drugs, and so
Yeah.
they said we're putting a stop to this crap, and that's why they invaded Venezuela and took the leader, because he's like, screw you, I don't care, I'm still sending drugs to your country.
Yeah, that's true.
And if we got to take out one guy, and if we got to make a circuit around all of South America to go stop it, then by God, you should be able to. If I was sending drugs to Canada, right, at the level that some of these countries are sending drugs to the United States,
Okay.
do you think the Canadian government would just sit there?
No,
They'd come after me with a hammer.
no, not at all. Not at all.
They'd put
You're
me in a
right.
barrel filled with maple syrup and throw me into the ocean. So
Putin and Putin.
you know, but so when America does it, it's a problem. But if anybody else was to do it, it's okay.
Must be just in the way how they're doing it. That's all.
I definitely know it's how we're doing it. I guarantee it's how we're doing it. We're going, stop. No, I said stop again. No. Do you not understand? If you don't stop this time, I'm going to come down there and smack you in the pee-pee? I'll go fuck you. What can you do? Delta Force. I get you before you get to your fucking fallout room, dick.
Okay, we're on YouTube.
I know. But, you know, he talked a lot of smack, and he got his pee-pee whacked. And he threatened the United States. And that's why Venezuela got what it's got.
Yeah.
But since that's happened, the drugs have slowed down.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to do more of that. Maybe countries need to do more of that. Why are we letting drug cartels and all these people run other countries? Like Mexico, huge swaths of Mexico is run by drug cartels. Right?
Yeah.
Their government doesn't even have control of it.
No.
And where does that stuff end up? It ends up on our streets. It ends up in your streets.
Yeah.
And then we got to deal with the fallout and the, you know, kids and, you know, parents that don't know their names and their kids are wandering the streets and crime. And we have to deal with it because they go, hey, we're going to get rich. We're going to sell drugs to these people.
Yeah. You're right.
So why? I'm just trying to think of a way to word it. How much do you take of that before you go, you know what? I've had enough. I'm punching this dude in the face.
Yeah, totally.
Because I mean, we're pretty level-headed guys.
Yeah.
And it would take a lot. Like, when I get mad, and you've seen me mad, and I've seen you mad,
Yeah.
it takes a lot to push us off the edge to where we would act
Yeah.
physically. We may say stuff and stomp around the room and... Right? But to actually physically go to blows with somebody, if you've pushed that hard to make another country come invade your country to set you straight, and then have your people celebrate in the streets after you've been nabbed,
Yeah.
that says something.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does.
So are we going to find out here in the future that after, you know, all these evil people in Iran get deposed and the new government comes in and blah, 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 are they going to thank us? Probably not. Are countries around the world going to thank us? Like, hey, we didn't get nuked last year because you blew up their missile system. Thanks. I think there's going to be a lot of that backroom thanks.
Yeah.
We're going to backroom thank you, but we're not going to help you in any form or fashion. Because they want to do it too.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
Look at if you start doing the research on all these terrorist strikes and all these, you know, train bombings and you know, people blowing themselves up and or getting cars and driving through Christmas fairs, you know, you could trace that money back and the people back all the way back to Iran.
yeah.
So how many times do we have to get hit in the face before we hit back? That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
my view on it.
Yeah.
It is no way the station's view, no way the program's view. That is my personal view. And if you want to prove me wrong, you can send an email to vermlandradio.com and I'll read it.
Yeah. And talking about that, Akai, we've busted 10 minutes and it's okay. So do your thing like you usually do.
Please like and subscribe to our show on whatever platform you're listening to on, because we really appreciate it. Also, you can go to vermlandradio.com. You can buy some swag out there, which we really appreciate, because all that money goes back in to help the station stay on the air and help the podcast continue. And we really appreciate it, and we will see you in 2 weeks, hopefully. And if we live that long and the world's still here. Love you all.
Yeah.
Be safe.
And don't forget to leave some comments if you want us to talk about different topics that you think that are interesting to talk. Well, let them in the
Please.
comments. Yeah, let them in the comments. And surely me and Akai are going to be able to debate on them. So, yeah, help us out. Log in, click, like, hit the bell, and all that. And go see my new commercial on YouTube. It's really interesting. Really fun.
Woohoo!
Everybody.
We're live, we're loud, we just begun.